I'm not saying this now because I'm in Mkhonto weSizwe. I said it when I was still in the EFF, like possibly for the past, if people pay closer attention to what we say and write publicly. I said on several occasions that we were misled on President Zuma, like long before there was even discussion of the formation of Mkhonto weSizwe. The entire discourse of South Africa's politics, right, inclusive of influential media platforms and state institutions which in some instances were abused to pursue political agendas. It's not a secret that as public protector, Thuli Madonsela was in pursuit of a narrow political agenda. It also shows with what she got to do and who she got to associate with after her office as a public protector. At that time we thought she's a genuine person who is in pursuit of a genuine agenda, but she was in pursuit of a class agenda which sought to portray President Zuma as corrupt, to portray President Zuma as a person who is not living within the constitution, and she was doing so in protection of the white capitalist establishment. And we somehow fell into that trap, and that is why we supported Thuli Madonsela and said, let's have state capture inquiry and everything. And we are confident as the EFF that Jacob Zuma will end up in prison. There's no way that he will survive this one. He might have survived so many other things before. But now we've got him, he's going to be arrested, he's going to rot in jail, he's going to spend the remaining part of his life in prison for the sins that he has committed in corruption and in undermining the democracy.
We were wrongly mobilized against President Zuma. Most corrupt leader, the state capture, and all sorts of nonsensical characterization of the period where he was head of state and president. And we, of course, during that period, joined into the band, were gone and coincidentally joined by the establishment, and mostly by even the descendants of the settlers who got to go into the Zuma must fall nonsense that got to happen that time. Then we pushed for state capture inquiry. But you know, the most important thing, I was thinking about it now systematically, that my turning point about the whole perception was actually the inquiry itself on state capture. That
interesting.
Yeah, because I got to realize something which I think is very important, that one, there is no wrongdoing which was pointed on President Zuma in the whole inquiry. Zero. The star witness in the inquiry was Themba Maseko, who said President Zuma said I must call the Guptas and everything else they like. But that's what he does every day. Like yesterday we were in a top 8 meeting, and then before the meeting started he said that there are some people who are proposing a cooperative, please listen to them. That is what presidents do in any circumstance, that when a business person or whoever has got a proposal comes to you, you refer them to authorities, and then the authorities have got an obligation to make sure that they comply with the laws in fulfilling what they got to do.
Jacob Zuma will never find peace in the presence of the EFF that respects the Constitution. As long as the Constitution is what we have now, Jacob Zuma, unless he's held accountable to the fullest, he will never address this parliament. There will never be a time where he will find peace in this particular parliament. At all times he will know that there are serious dynamics and opposition that will come from the EFF, which has been proven times and again that is the only defender of the Constitution.
That all dictators, after they steal government money and then enrich their families, and they fight against their opponents, their last option is to kill their opponents. As a matter of fact, that is where it is going. What kind of a president charges their own ministers through wrong procedures? Because that is where it's going.
Member.
Jacob Zuma is going to kill you.
Honorable Member.
All of you who are thinking that you are on his side now, you are going to vote for him today, but in the future he's going to kill all of you.
The point I wanted to make is that the interpretation of the comrade who's sitting here, that I'm standing next to, this one, this one, this one, this one. You don't know. They're politicians and politicians. This comrade I've known from when he was very young in the ANC Youth League. That's when I picked him up that he is a real politician. His politics, which I defy as scientific politics. This young man, he's a young man to me. Don't worry that he's big than me. Honest politician. Honest. Clear politically. He takes decisions at the right time for good reasons.